Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Adele if you are new, and today I'm going to be sharing some college tips slash advice slash hacks for back to school. I'm about to be going into my final year of college, which is crazy to me. So I think I have a lot of experience dealing with college and college related things. So in honor of summer being almost over and back to school time in full swing, I thought I would make a back to school kind of general advice for college. All of these tips or hacks or whatever you want to call them are based off of my own experience going to college and being a student at university. So hopefully you find these helpful, especially if you're an incoming freshman or you've never been to college for the first time, or if you're in college right now and you just want to watch this. My first tip is to read the syllabus and keep a planner. This is super important because in college normally professors don't tell you when dates are. They don't remind you constantly about tests or assignments or anything like that. So they'll usually give you the syllabus on the first day and you just have to know those dates and check up on it. That's why I recommend keeping a planner that goes along with this so that you have all of these dates kept in one spot, because most likely you will not get reminders and you don't want to be that person who walks in and everyone's getting their Scantrons out and you're like, oh my god, is there a test today? Yes, don't do that. Don't be that person. Keep a planner, read the syllabus. My next tip is to develop an organization style that works for you. I think this is important in any kind of academic setting that you're in, whether it's high school, college, or even a job. It's good to have all of your things organized in one place in a method that works for you. I would say this is more important in college than it is in high school because professors won't really give you handouts for notes or anything like that. You have to take the notes yourself. So coming up with a style of organization that works for you is good, so you can format your own notes and folders and binders and all of that good stuff into your own method. Like this video if you want to see maybe a video in the future from me about how I organize my notes and school supplies, because I've wanted to do that for a little bit. My next tip is especially important for those of you who will be living on campus, and that is to take advantage of free events on your campus. At most universities, especially at mine, there are so many free events. They always are doing things. There's always something to go to. My college always has free events with free food or free t-shirts or anything like that. My next tip is to introduce yourself to your professors. I am not usually one to go to my professor's office hours all the time and get coffee with them and just talk about things with them, but I do always make sure to introduce myself at the beginning. On the first day, I always try to go up at the end of class and just say, hi, my name is Adele, hello, I'm in your class, just so they know who you are and they'll see your face every day. And sometimes that can be used to your advantage, but at least introducing yourself just in the first day of class, I think is a good way to just kind of get your name and face out there just for a little bit. And if you happen to really like this professor and want to talk to them all the time, that's great. So my next piece of advice is to plan your schedule with what works for you. I see a lot of college advice things and it's don't take 8 a.m.s because you won't wake up for them. I disagree because I think it depends on the person. I personally like to get all of my classes done in the morning so then I have the rest of my day free, because that makes sense to me. I understand that some people may not want to, again, which is why you need to do it for yourself. But also just a small little piece of advice that I feel like people don't remember is that if you're an incoming college freshman, you're most likely coming from high school. And in my experience, high schoolers have to wake up a lot earlier for school because high school starts a lot earlier in the morning. Mine started at 8 a.m. So I get you want to be oh, I'm going to college. I can schedule my times however I want and I can sleep in as late as I want. Again, that's great if you really want to do that. I personally would take the 8 a.m.s closer to when I just graduated high school because I'm used to it. If you're already used to waking up super early, then what's the big difference in taking an 8 a.m.? That's just my opinion, and also I still take 8 a.m.s because again, like I said, I like to get all of my classes out of the way and over with so that I have the whole rest of the day to do whatever I want. My next tip, I know you hear it all the time, go to class. It really is important, even though you may not think so, and even if you have a class where the professor is like, oh, attendance isn't mandatory, or I'm not taking attendance, you're like, great, awesome, I don't have to go to class. No, not true, don't do that. Class time is there for a reason, and that's usually because in the lecture part, the professor will say things that are not on the slides or in the notes or in the book or whatever that you need to write down. I've also found that in my experience, professors who say that attendance isn't mandatory usually have harder tests because people don't go to class because they're like, whatever, and then they don't know what to do on the test because all of the test material is during the lecture. Usually in most 99.9% of cases, you should not skip class unless you're sick or you have a real reason. And also sometimes professors will change dates of things during class. Usually they'll send out an email afterwards, but sometimes I forget, and so you want to be able to be in the class and get that information firsthand, so you're like, okay, this test is moved up, or this assignment isn't due until later. It's just a good idea. Please go to class. Don't skip. My next tip is to take advantage of study areas on campus. Most universities have chairs everywhere, or just areas where people hang out or study or whatever, whether that's in the union or the library or just random buildings with chairs. Basically anywhere can be a study space, so I recommend just walking around campus, finding the best place that works for you. And there can even be different types of study spaces within buildings. My biggest example of this being that at my university's main library, they have different floors for not different things, but there's a quiet floor that's dead silent, and that's where I like to study because I like to study with silence. So just explore different places, find what works for you. I don't recommend studying or doing homework in your room because, at least for me, that's where I get the most distracted. My next tip is to explore your campus and the city around you. When you first get to campus, you want to make sure that you have a general idea of where everything is and, have a map or something and just know where buildings are. Find your classes beforehand, that's really important. And take time to explore the campus and also the city because you can find a lot of stores for groceries or clothes or whatever in the future, as well as places to eat or hang out, or again, just any resources you may not know about. My next piece of advice is to go to events and talk to staff in your dorm. This is if you're living on campus in a residence hall. I definitely recommend going to events that your dorm hosts and talking to the staff or the people at the front desk and your RAs especially. I don't want to sound like a hypocrite because I did not do this at all my freshman year. I didn't talk to any of the staff because I was intimidated, I guess. And I probably still wouldn't have talked to the staff if it weren't for my boyfriend, who is an RA. So through him, I just kind of know the staff at almost all of the dorm. But it's a good way to get to know other people in your dorm and to know when events are, and just to make other friends. My next tip is to take care of your mental and physical health. I wanted to put these two together because mental health is really important to me, but also so is your physical health. So just take care of both. Most universities have resources for both of these things. Go to the rec center or the gym to work out and just to take care of your physical body. And most universities offer counseling or therapy, and it's usually free if you're a student. So take advantage of these resources. And also with mental health, just know when to take a break. I know I said not to skip class earlier, but if there's a real reason, and that includes mental health, if you're having a bad mental health day, it's okay to not go to class. I don't want you to push yourself too hard, especially at the beginning, because I know it can be stressful and hard and a new situation and a whole new environment with new people, and I know that's really hard. And just in general, throughout our life, we sometimes just will have days like that, and it's okay. And you just need to know what works for you and to take care of your mental health, because your mental health is directly related to everything else. And if you're not doing well mentally, you probably won't be doing well academically. My next tip is not really a tip, actually. You won't find your perfect friend group immediately. I think a lot of people go into college assuming that the people they met at orientation or the first day of class or the first week of class are going to be their best friends throughout college, and this is not true at all. I don't talk I think, to a single person that I met at orientation. I mean, I'm like acquaintance friends with some of them, but they didn't become like my best friends. Except for my boyfriend, actually. I think we met like the first week of class, freshman year. But it'll take time in most cases. You have to put yourself out there and meet a lot of people, and you will meet people throughout so many situations and through so many different ways. You will meet people in class. Talk to people in your class. That's a whole nother tip that I didn't even write down, but you know what? We're putting it in here. Talk to people in your class, because you'll need someone, like if you miss a day and you need the notes or something. Having a friend in a class is really helpful. But yes, you'll meet people everywhere. You're not going to meet your group of friends immediately at the beginning, and if you see other people and you're like, oh my gosh, like everyone has their friends already, like everyone's already laughing and talking and they're so close. It's not true. It's okay. People make friends at different speeds. It's not a race, and they probably aren't the best of friends already if it's the first day. Everyone's just as nervous as you are. It's okay. Be calm. My next piece of advice is to get out of your comfort zone. This is something I wish I had known. Well, I did know it, I just didn't know how. I am a very anxious person, and I don't normally do things out of my comfort zone, if you don't know, fun fact. This was really hard for me at first, but getting out of your comfort zone and doing things you wouldn't normally do is like the backbone of going to college. It's a whole new thing, it's a whole new experience, new school, new people, new faces. It's completely new. You don't really know what you're doing. Nobody does. This is the perfect time to get out of your comfort zone. Like, think about it. You're probably not gonna have another, like, fresh start like this for a long time unless you just decide to move across the world. Even just talking to people or reaching out to people when you wouldn't normally be the one to reach out is a huge step. So get out of your comfort zone, do things you wouldn't normally do. I promise you'll love it and it'll be really good. And my final piece of advice is kind of along the same lines, and that is to be open to new experiences and new people. Like I said, this whole thing is new. Situation's new, you don't know anybody. It's scary. It's such a cool learning opportunity, not even just like going to class and like learning stuff academically, but the life experience during this time is so immense, and I really think being around different people and being in new situations definitely helps with being more open-minded and communicating better, and it's all just a really cool experience. So just keep an open mind, try new things, live life, breathe air. I know somehow you're gonna get there. Did not mean to break into the iCarly theme song. Anyway, those are my hacks / advice / tips for college, back to school, I guess incoming freshmen. I wasn't necessarily going to aim it so directly towards college freshmen, but here we are. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please let me know what you thought of this video, and if any of these tips helped you. I really hope so. Like this video for more back to school content, and I believe that's it. Subscribe if you want. Anyway, hope you liked it, and I hope you have a great day and a great school year. Mwah. I'll see you in my next video.